What time will you be here? What time are we rolling out to the Rittenhouse trial?
And before I get to the trial, I'm going to the judge's house.
Mm-hmm. Somebody needs a ride to work. Somebody needs a ride to work. And he need a talking to in
the back seat.
From Frangela, we need to pull this judge over, okay, and have what we like to call a discussion.
Yes. Bradley Whitford said, when you're directing a movie about the fall of democracy and you get a draft where the bat judge's phone in the Kyle Rittenhouse trial plays a Trump rally theme song, you fire the writer. Yes. This is, okay. First of all, is this not critical race theory, what we're watching in the Aubrey trial and the Rittenhouse? Okay, just to review once again, Kyle Rittenhouse murderer, Ahmaud Arbery was murdered.
Yes.
By a lynch mob. Okay.
Yes. And what's on trial this week is white males being able to go out without any impunity and just kill.
Yeah.
And what I feel like what is being said to America is that that's okay. That we're going to defend as a country their right to kill whomever. Where in this country does it say that a 17-year-old gets to have an AR-15 and go out and kill people?
It's in his first aid kit, Francis. He was obviously going to render medical aid.
Next to the gauze.
Right.
Next to the gauze. I don't care if he handed out 2,000 Band-Aids. Yeah. He killed 2 people.
Yeah. He obviously went to provoke. He didn't go.
That's right.
I mean, what a bunch of crap. I went to render medical aid and put out fires. It's not even his community. You know, when they said, when Fox News says this little boy was just protecting his community, and I'm like, you mean white people? Because this wasn't his community, right?
And he had an illegal gun. He had somebody illegally purchase a gun for him that he then took out to another state, and goes and kills people. And we're having a discussion about whether he wasn't even supposed to be there.
Yeah, and Angela, when they're saying, like, you know, Glenn Kirshner was saying, unfortunately, you know, the legal bar in terms of self-defense, it's like, well, of course these guys were defending themselves. He was an active shooter. Mm-hmm. So, you know, like they're hitting him with a skateboard or whatever they had. It's like, right, because he was an active shooter. I mean, okay, go ahead.
I'm trying to figure out how we skipped the part where he drove there. Like, because here's the deal with self-defense and stand your ground. First of all, it has to be your ground and you have to be standing. And I don't understand how you get to drive to a place where, by the way, there are curfews being imposed, where everybody knows people are protesting, legally protesting, and without any provocation, without anyone doing anything specifically to you, or that I've seen no evidence that any of these people were hurting anybody's property, let alone his. We know he didn't even own property as a child. So it's
and the two
I don't know how you get to claim that self-defense when you weren't defending anything.
And the 2 guys said, we didn't ask him to come protect this. What was it, a gas station? The 2 workers there said, it's like Zimmerman. George Zimmerman, no one asked you to be a rent-a-cop. No one asked you. In fact, police told you, stand down, stop it. Yeah, go ahead.
You have a responsibility. Self-defense, this is how self-defense works. If you tell me you're coming over to kill me, I don't get to then load my gun and stand on the street and when you drive down my street, shoot you. That's not self-defense. That's premeditation on my part. We have a responsibility as citizens when we know we are in danger to get out of that danger, to not run towards it. If you know, so besides it's an illegal gun, all that, but what's really, and Francis said it and other people have said it, what's happening this week is you are seeing in bold, easy to see colors that in this country, it is okay to kill Black people and our allies. It is okay. Not only is it okay, it is laudable. It is heroic. They wouldn't let a cop do that. A cop can't drive to another jurisdiction where they have no jurisdiction and defend shit. Excuse me.
Wow. Okay, now we're awake. I didn't get a lot of sleep last night, but I'm awake now. Okay. Angela has dropped the first S-bomb.
I said we're going to play Girl from Ipanema this hour.
I tried to send money to FCC last night. I told y'all.
I know you did. You tried to prepay. They don't let you do that. But thank you anyway for your efforts. Okay, Jackie Spear, I'm telling you, it's all one story today. From, Paul Gosar, killing a woman of color in a video, right? I mean, it's all one story about how, white men killing people of color is just, we haven't heard a word, have we, from Kevin McCarthy about this yet?
No.
Jackie Spear yesterday.
We have allowed this to get out of hand, and it's time to put a stop to it. Congresswoman Ocasio-Cortez was chosen by Mr. Gosar to be killed in his little cartoon. Wasn't a cartoon, and he to minimize that is reprehensible, and to suggest that the president of the United States should be slain, it's out of control, and it's time that we force our colleagues to be held accountable.
Isn't this one thing, Frangela, that could be bipartisan is the expulsion of Marjorie Taylor Greene? She has just tweeted phone numbers of the 13 Republicans who voted for infrastructure, calling them traitors, getting them death threats. Her Republican colleagues, Fred Upton, said this madness has to stop. Right? I'm sure you probably on TV last night heard this long, unbelievably obscenity-laced death threat that Fred Upton got, saying, "I hope your whole, family dies. You traitor." I mean, this is, you know what I'm saying? Like, what are they not as scared of her and her inciting her crazies as Democrats are?
They're excited for it.
I think that people, we've seen this since Trump got elected. People, this is a mistake a lot of us make. You can't control crazy. And when I've heard people say things like, I've heard people say that they know people who voted for Trump because they liked his so-called economic agenda. But see, you can't half vote for Nazis. The Nazis don't hear, you know what? They're into this part of our policy, but not the other. You know what argument you've never heard? You've never heard anybody go up into any place and say what you want about the Nazis and Hitler. But if you looked at his arts program, it was really forward thinking. That doesn't happen because that's not how it works. And you can't do that.
And whenever QAnon Betty gets a lot of attention, QAnon Veronica has to. Lauren Boebert also belongs, again, not just expelled, in prison, right? Yes.
I just want to point out, she says some really stupid things here.
Yes.
Some really
please go ahead.
things.
Yes, Lauren Boebert. QAnon Veronica. Here we go.
They declared independence from a tyrannical king before they were independent. They declared it. And then they didn't just stop there. They celebrated that freedom, that independence, as though it already belonged to them. But they didn't stop there. Then they went out and fought the war. For 11 years.
Yes, that's just her inciting civil war. Yes, Travis. Mm-hmm.
It was 7 years,
right.
Not 11 years.
Okay.
Thank you, Lauren Boebert.
Is it anti-feminist, Frangela, to point out that she and Marjorie Taylor Greene, a lot of these right-wing women, sound like complete bimbos? Is it wrong to point that out? Okay.
No, they're ignorant, and it's not bimbos. They're stupid.
Yes.
And the stupidity is clogging up our government.
Yeah.
We can't govern because of their presence.
Yeah.
I'm not
we just had
you expressing yourself, Stephanie. You have to express yourself. Okay.
We just had Miles Taylor on, who is still a Republican, but I can't imagine what my dad would think of these crazy mother in his party. They're like you said, Fritz, they're just stupid. They're crazy. They're stupid. They're just I mean, they are pro-Nazi. I mean, it's just go ahead.
They're Nazis. Like, this is the thing. If it walks like a Nazi and kills like a Nazi, it's a Nazi.
Yeah.
They're Nazis.
Yeah.
And that Nazis aren't okay with being in an elected office. Nazis are into fascism. They are here to take this over. If anyone thinks that 2022 is just going to happen the way it's supposed to, they are deluding themselves.
Yeah.
The plan is to make sure that election falls apart. They don't care if they win or not. What they want to do is start a civil war.
Yep.
That is what they're doing.
Here's what I love is right now on your screen, we have a hand right next to your face. So it's like you're literally about to sing "Stop" in the name of love. Oh, now it's gone.